Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Crystal. Today I'm going to show you how I installed this amazing synthetic wig that cost me less than $40. That's right, less than 40. Starting off, this is the packaging for the wig. This is the sensational butter lace wig. I've heard so many good things about this lace, so I couldn't wait to try it out. I got the wig in color 1B because that's more of my natural hair color. Even though my natural hair won't be out, I still wanted to get something that looked really good and really natural for me. Taking it out of all the packaging, I noticed it was really flowy, really soft and bouncy, and I thought that was amazing. Here's just the construction of the wig itself: the lace at the front, the comb in the back, the 2 combs on the sides, and they even have 3 more combs at the very top where the middle part is. And the real reason I bought this is because of the lace. I've been hearing a lot of YouTubers talk about how good the lace is and how easily it melts, so I wanted to test that out. Of course, I try on the wig just to see where it lays on my head before I install. Sadly, I have a big head apparently, and the lace did not go ear to ear, so that is news to me. Now I know that I have a bigger head. But look how long the hair is. It's amazing. It actually ends up being 28 inches from the top of my head to the ends of the hair. This is the tinted lace spray that I use. It's by Eben, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I use medium brown because that fits best with my skin tone. I think that this spray is amazing. I got it off Amazon as well. I've had it for a while and I've used it on other wigs and it's my favorite. Definitely be very gentle with it. Don't spray it too hard. It will go through the lace and get onto the hair, and you just don't want that. So this is just me making sure everything's okay. So then I go in and I spray just a little bit of hairspray. This is like holding hairspray. So just to hold it down so the tint doesn't rub off on my skin or my forehead or anything. And then I go in with a hair dryer on a cool setting and just kind of blow dry this just to dry it up a little bit faster. You don't have to do this, but I was in a rush. And so you can see how well that tint spray works, especially with my skin. There's a little bit of the edge that I didn't spray compared to the further end near the hair that I did. And then this is it on my head. You can see the lace looks so good. There's still going to be just a little bit of work to do to it, but I mean, for the most part, it's okay. And remember how I said the lace didn't go to my ears? Yeah, you can see it more here. There's definitely going to be my real hair out. And because I wasn't using a ball cap method on this, I'm going to have to go in and trim off some of that excess lace later. Here, I'm just cutting off some flaps that'll help me install the wig and just like kind of lay it down. I go in with my Eben Wonder Lace Bond. I absolutely love this. I know they have different brands like the yellow can and the red one. I just stick with the black. That works best for me. I wasn't really planning to wear this wig for that many days, really just like 3 at the most. Since it is synthetic, I didn't want to wear it too long. As we all know, it's not the easiest hair to manage, so I'm just putting a layer of that on and cleaning up any excess that I see. This is totally an optional part. I went in with a hair dryer to kind of speed up the drying process as I'm trying to get something off my lips. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I like to wait till it gets to like a kind of medium tacky-ish kind of texture. Not too dry, but still not too wet. Like the good middle ground. And I go in with a second layer. And then I repeat the process with the hair dryer. Once I get to a good texture, I go ahead and cut off those excess flaps that I said, needed to go away since the lace didn't touch my ears. I lay the wig down where I want it to go, and then I add this headband to it just to kind of like secure and hold it down. I mean, you can use anything, a headband, a scarf, anything like that. And then I'm just going in with a little bit of eyeshadow actually to just kind of like darken that up a little bit, make it a little more realistic. After about 15 to 20 minutes, I take off the band, and then I noticed I didn't cut off enough of the lace on the sides, but that's something I'll fix later. I use a eyebrow razor to just go in and kind of cut the lace where I want it to sit. And I use the eyebrow razor because it makes those rigid cuts, which makes it just a little bit more realistic. Once you lay it down, it gives it a more natural look to me. So I just go in and touch up in these certain areas. And then trust me, I'll get rid of that lace further down on the side here in a moment. It's just that it took me a while to get to it as I was trying to figure out exactly where I wanted the lace to sit. As you can see, I am struggling. I don't know what was happening. At that point, I was just over it. At this point, I'm just going in with a little bit of rubbing alcohol to clean up any excess glue just to get it out the way. I take a little bit of that Eben lace holding spray and I'm just spraying that on the tip of my rat tail and just pressing that into the lace to kind of help it lay down. And then I cut off a little bit more. And then once I've done that, I let it dry for a minute and I put on my headband again. This time I'm only going to let it sit for about 10-ish minutes, not too long, but enough to get the edges of the lace completely melted and laid down. And then you can kind of see what it's going to look like. I start to take off the headband. I just want to see. The lace seems to have melted really nicely. So I go in with a Q-tip and some rubbing alcohol and clean up any excess glue just to make sure it looks clean and neat before I apply the makeup. And this is just me trying to get all the details that I can. At this moment, I should have realized I need to stop, but I didn't. So I used the tint spray to kind of melt the lace with my forehead. That was obviously too light. So I had to go back behind myself and correct it. I used a little bit of rubbing alcohol and a cotton pad to kind of like wipe some of it away. A little bit did get on my hair, so I'm just trying to clean all of that up. And I spent a little bit of time trying to tidy up that mess. I wouldn't say this is a second mistake, but definitely a learning curve. I went ahead and tried to take off more of that lace on the side. As you can remember, it didn't really touch my ear, so I have this weird gap between where the lace starts and my ear and my real hair are. As you can see, it's not really noticeable, so it worked out pretty well. But I'm sure you can still hide it once the hair is down. So we move on to baby hairs. I know, baby hairs are really played out. It's getting really old, but I thought if I did some just really thin, really small, nothing too crazy, nothing too dramatic edges, I'd be able to just kind of like, give a really nice feel and finish to it. And I was right. I just do really small ones, nothing too thick, not that many hairs, just something really simple and easy to do. I decided to go ahead and just like smooth down and slick down my real hair just to give it a nice finish and feel to it in case I wanted to wear the hair behind my ears or in a ponytail. I did have a little bit of that Eben Bond lace spray on it still, so I just cleaned that up with a little bit of rubbing alcohol and it looks pretty good, very discreet, so it's just a natural look to it, which I like. I don't know if anyone else has this problem, but I am horrible with trying to like match up my baby hairs on each side. I feel like I did these pretty well. I'm just combing them out at the roots where they touch the lace to kind of make sure they're lifted up so that way I can properly cut them and then lay them down with more spray. When I do my baby hairs, I actually use Got2b glue spray. I feel like that works better for my edges. So I go ahead and pull those out, cut them, and then spray the brush itself and then slick down the baby hairs. And this process usually works for me. Like I said, I don't always get twins when I do this, but it's a pretty close enough match, so that worked. This is where I just try to work some magic. This was the side that had that weird big gap between my ear and the lace, so I used a little bit of the wig hair to start the baby hair. That way it could cover up that edge of the lace and really hide it. I used a little bit more than I originally planned, but it ended up working out really well. I was able to cover it up so it wasn't as noticeable. And thankfully it blended in with my hair, so it looks pretty good. And then I just go in and I try to touch up the other side as well. That's the thing about me. I'm not really good with baby hairs, so I'll have to do it about 1,000 times until I feel comfortable. I didn't do it on camera, but I went back and I touched up the lace with a little bit of that brown eyeshadow that I used for my middle part earlier, and that really did the trick. So that's a little tip. If you can't use like foundation or spray, maybe try an eyeshadow. Here, I'm just trying to fluff out the hair. I just wanted to give it a little bit more life, a little bit more volume. It was just too flat. I went in with the comb at first, but that wasn't really the best choice. I almost forgot that this was a synthetic wig, so I stopped that immediately. Here, I'm just trying to bump up the front of it. I wanted to give it, like I said, more volume, and I felt like this was a really good trick, and it did work, but I had to go back in and touch it up a few times. So I started to separate the hair out with my hands, which was a lot better. I got a really better look from it. I know this would be very tedious to do, every single piece and really give it the life that it needs. So a little trick that I use is I actually ended up keeping this wig installed for longer than 3 days, and I would just keep it up and keep it under a bonnet. Doing that itself and then just naturally wearing it, it'll slowly fluff up on its own. So here, as you can see, it's a good amount, but I was tired, so I was like, that's enough. But the back still was pretty flat, so I'm just, raking my hands through, trying to do just a quick little fluff job so you guys can see what it would look like if it was fully done. I was really amazed by how lightweight and soft this hair was. I actually forgot it was synthetic a few times, but I would definitely suggest this for like spring and summer. Even though it's long and like crinkly, it's still not, a hot and heavy material, so you don't get really uncomfortable too fast. So definitely consider this as like a springtime go-to. Hold up, let's just take a moment to appreciate that beautiful lace. Like, I can see why people give it so many good reviews. Butter Lace is a really good company, and I feel like they have a really good undetectable lace. For me as a beginner, I appreciate that because sometimes I don't know all the tricks and the tips, but I was able to lay this wig and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was like super pretty, super girly. It definitely gives like a nice spring vibe, and I just really like wavy hair now. I usually like straight, but I guess I'm starting to change my style up a little bit. As far as shedding goes, it's just, I guess, the normal amount of shedding. I mean, it's synthetic, so you can't expect it to be, perfect, but it didn't do too bad. I guess with the waves, that also helped catch anything that was shedding badly, but I definitely wouldn't suggest combing or running your hands through it a lot because that would just cause a mess. Here is just me doing a few different styles that I thought would be pretty with the hair. I love this idea. This is just so like cutesy and girly, but it makes me look really young and like a child, so I didn't wear it that often. I thought, what about a ponytail? I just wanted to kind of test it out and see what it looked like. And it did really well. I like a low ponytail with a clip, and as you can see, it's just really nice, really flowy, still pretty. I just love it. I tried some other styles like with a ponytail up, the hair on a clip as well. This is one of my other go-tos. You're gonna see the clip is like barely hanging on because I didn't put it on that well, but you can get the idea. I really like this wig in the color that I got it in, 1B. It's really pretty. Like I said, my natural hair color. They have different colors like jet black, blonde. They even have some like ombre colors. So if you want to change it up, do like a red or something else, you can get that. And they do range in price. The cheapest one would be about $35, and then the most expensive one, depending on the color, would range to $43. This comes at the automatic length of the 28 inches like you see on me, so you can't really get it shorter or longer. Normally I use a side part, but since this was a middle part wig, I was a little scared, but I really like the way that this looks. So this is actually 4 days after I installed the wig. Look how good it looks. I ended up keeping the side part. I used a little bit of hairspray and a hot comb to hold it over. I didn't touch the middle part, just the front side, and that was honestly good enough for me. As you can see, the hair looks so good. It's been naturally fluffing up on its own, and I just really love it. Look how bouncy and flowy it still is, and it's such a good length. Y'all won't believe it, but this was actually day 8 out of having it installed. It is so nice. This is my favorite look of it so far because it fluffed up so much. I am just so in love. I was so sad that I had to take it out, but at that point I had touched up the lace twice and I just knew that it was just time to give it a break. I am definitely going to hold on to it to reinstall again at a later time, but just how amazing is this? Just such such a good quality. Butter Lace has definitely made a customer out of me, and I think it's just such a good beginner friendly wig and such an affordable price that you really just can't pass it up. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Young guy, what it is.